Hello my friends, welcome to the Electrek Viking. As you know, I've made a number of videos talking about how it is likely that companies such as Toyota, Ford, General Motors, Stellantis, even companies like BMW will go bankrupt by 2030. Now, things have changed since then for some of those companies. Some of those companies have decided to pivot, or at least they're saying they're going to pivot or trying to, but it may be too late. And you know what? I believe the United States government agrees with me. And I believe that is why that the Democrats, Joe Biden, are making such an enormous effort to disparage Tesla and to support General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, Stellantis, Jeep, etc., etc. Now, if you weren't already aware of this, it's very obvious, as the Joe Biden administration recently revealed their proposed EV incentives, and they also had a big announcement about what they're going to do for EVs in the market, and they intentionally decided not to invite Tesla and admitted that it was 100% intentional. So, does this just come down to the fact that Tesla have not been donating to the Democrats, to Joe Biden's campaign over the last 10, 20, 30 years? Is this just a partisan political issue, or are the US government genuinely concerned that these companies may go bankrupt? Well, I don't think it comes down just to political donations. Obviously, they have admitted that political donations have played a part in their decisions to not involve Tesla in any of these discussions, to intentionally leave out Tesla in any marketing they do for EVs, branding, etc. This has all been obvious. This has all been very obvious and very blatant moves by the United States government over the last 6 months. I believe, as Sandy Munro believes, that there is genuine concern within the United States that GM, Ford, and Stellantis and its group of brands will potentially go bankrupt. Why? Well, do they really have the technological ability to pivot in the way that Tesla has when they are currently under enormous loads of debt? So imagine a company trying to pivot entirely to a new product, a new form, a new type of product when they have loads of debt and when their current product is really not that good on a technological level. Well, Sandy Munro went on a rant lately talking about why he believes the US auto industry could basically be finished by 2030. At this point, you're probably very familiar with industry teardown expert Sandy Munro. And if you're not, he is basically the world's best YouTube expert. Well, he is an expert on tearing apart cars and examining them and looking at the differences between those cars, the technological advantages of one part or one car versus another. He literally tears them down piece by piece by piece and shows you his work. He shows you what is better, what is not. Now, how does he know what is better and what is not? Well, Sandy Munro himself worked for Ford for many years in part production lines, in the development of products. He's an engineer. So him and his team all know what they're talking about. And now what happens is car manufacturers will actually buy his report from him so that they know how they can improve or what they can do better. Now, one of the few companies that actually listened to Sandy Munro and took his criticisms of their product on board and actually tried to change in almost every way that Sandy Munro suggested they should was, of course, Tesla. So, Tesla's vehicles have actually boosted him into the spotlight. And as a result, Munro now focuses almost all of his efforts on YouTube on how EVs compare to Tesla EVs. Now, early on, Munro heavily criticized Tesla vehicles and he wasn't too sure about them. However, after multiple teardowns and seeing Tesla address his criticisms, he's now behind the company 100%, has actually bought shares of the company. Now, Munro tends to find some engineering methods and features interesting in other EVs. He remains fascinated at how far ahead he believes Tesla is in almost every area when it comes to EVs. He also believes that only startups like Tesla have the ability to actually compete with China when it comes to new technology and also when it comes to price, manufacturing of EVs. With that said, Munro put out a recent video that was kind of basically a rant. He even called it a rant, where he talked about what he thinks about the US government and how it's handling the automotive industry, as well as the future of propulsion and the future of automation. He pointed out that the government and related organizations have clearly chosen other automakers, Ford and General Motors, to praise and support while working to criticize, punish, and stifle Tesla. He's 100% correct. There's mountains of evidence of this, and I think it's embarrassing on behalf of the United States government. I think it's a mistake. So, Munro is upset, as am I, that Tesla doesn't get the praise and recognition he believes, and I believe it should, for being a leader in electrification and autonomy. Now, he's worried that the big three automakers simply don't have the technological and software expertise to compete with China, though the government is leaning on them to be leaders, all while pretending Tesla doesn't even exist. Now, Munro goes so far as to call other OEMs' automated driving technologies crap. He's clearly angered that other automakers receive support and praise for their efforts, especially related to advanced driving systems and semi-autonomous driving, while Tesla is once again being criticized and investigated. Now, Munro actually believes that systems like Tesla Autopilot actually save lives right now, though the media and the government seem more concerned with making a spectacle out of a very, very small number of crashes, which are bound to happen in any vehicle. Now, here's an example. There was a US government made about American-made EVs. Interestingly, the most American-made EV is the Tesla Model 3 in first place. The third most American-made EV is the Tesla Model Y in third place. And interestingly, Ford and GM only have one vehicle in the top 10. 5 of the top 10, which are placed between 6 and 10, are made by Toyota and Honda. Tesla is in first place and third place. So, as you can see, unfortunately, GM and Ford actually make most of their vehicles in Mexico, where they get much cheaper labor. So Tesla, on the other hand, doesn't do this. All the EVs they sell right now in the United States are made in the United States. Now, the ad primarily features the Chevy Bolt, which doesn't appear on Cars.com's American-Made Index at all. President Joe Biden actually tweeted out a new US government ad to further emphasize his administration's focus on the future of EVs. As you may already know, Biden wants to assure that US automakers excel when it comes to EVs, and the electric cars made in the US get the credit they deserve. However, it seems the administration, in my opinion, is making a mistake. Now, I should point out, right, that Biden's team has been working on details related to potential federal tax credits. In these details, we learned that EVs made in the United States will get larger incentives. In addition, extra funds will be granted to cars produced by unionized automakers, which would prove extremely controversial. And of course, this is made to specifically exclude Tesla. So after that was announced, we now have this ad which focuses primarily on the Chevrolet Bolt EV. Now, upon posting this ad, Biden received negative comments for leaving out the Tesla Model 3. The Cars.com 2021 American-Made Index just came out, right? And the Model 3 was listed as the most American-made car. And this is the first time an EV has ever topped the list. Like I said, the Tesla Model Y came in third place. Out of a list of 90 vehicles, the Bolt EV was nowhere to be found because it's not even made in the United States. And yet the United States government is promoting this vehicle, paying their own funds, the government funds, to promote a vehicle not made in the United States. Now, GM does deserve credit for building vehicles in the United States. You might be saying, well, this is only one minor thing, but unfortunately this is part of a long list of different issues that have come up over the last 12 months where the government has clearly singled out ignoring Tesla and supporting General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. Personally, I think this is a big mistake and it's unnecessary for the United States government to target Tesla. I believe this is having a scarcity mindset. And anytime someone has a scarcity mindset, they usually fail. Thanks for watching the video. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Hey boys and girls, welcome to Munro Live. I'm going to do my best to be civil and not be obnoxious. It's tough sometimes for me because I do get emotional about the way the country is being ramrodded into a direction that is not in the best interest of the company or the country. As you all know, Tesla had an AI day, and it's artificial intelligence for those who aren't into that sort of stuff. And one of the things that they decided to talk about was the new beta self-driving system that they've got. Now, for those of you who watch my stuff, you'll know that I was lucky enough to drive in two systems. I had one that was in California that was very impressive, and then I saw another one just recently with the dirty Tesla guy I've forgotten the name of right now, but anyway, he let me sit in his car and drive around. When I was in that car, we were in city streets and we were making 60 and 120 degree turns. Now that doesn't mean much to anyone here, but at slow speeds, under 40 miles an hour, and under normal driving conditions, making a 60 degree or 120 degree left or right hand turn is really a big deal. It really truly proves that you have something that's AI, artificial intelligence. There was no problem at all with the Tesla vehicles that I drove. Now, they showed that off in the Tesla Artificial Intelligence Day, and they also showed off that they're developing new chips with billions of contact points. That's amazing. I mean, I don't know how much you know about this, but it defies imagination. One chip that Tesla has developed in just recent history here could take the place of pretty much any major computer that might have been hanging around in the early 2000s. These advancements are things that'll save lives, lots of lives. And yet, for some reason or other, there seems to be this movement to try and crush this stuff down. So let's put things into perspective. In 2018, the U.S. fire departments responded to 212,500 ICE vehicle fires. 560 people died in those fires. That's in 2018. There were virtually no electric vehicle crashes whatsoever. And that's why I wanted to pick 2018. Now, where did I get these numbers from? Well, that would have been me and another guy from Bloomberg called David Welch. And basically, he was asking me about the safety associated with EVs. And I said, well, let's do this. Let's look up fires. Because at the time, there was fires with the Bolt and there was fires with Tesla. I mean, these are really dangerous. I'm going to give you a tip here. Gasoline is kind of dangerous as well. It catches on fire a lot easier than you can catch on fire a battery. A lot easier. If you want to try that out, go and try and light up a dry cell battery or something like that. Go and give it a shot. See how well you make out. And then pour some gasoline on a street and throw a match into it and see how you did there. Let's get a brain here, US. Okay? So why am I so upset about this? Well, the results basically tell me that that something dramatic must have happened in order to get these types of fires. Okay? And I don't think that people with a normal range of intelligence could possibly make these things happen. What comes to mind is something that we talked about when I was at Ford. Watch this, hold my beer. These are people who want to try and kill themselves, or let me rephrase that, they didn't go in too deep in the thought process to figure out whether or not whatever they were going to do was going to have some sort of serious repercussions. So Tesla brings this stuff out talking about how much safer it's going to be for self-driving. And then the same day, NHTSA decides they're going to investigate Tesla for car fires. Is that a coincidence? What do you think, boys and girls? Do you think we're getting our legs pulled? Do you think that NHTSA might have had a plan here? Do you think that maybe there's a problem here? Well, how about this? The same day, Congress decides to investigate Tesla as well. I don't know why they would do something like that. But I do know one thing, it's too coincidental for me. Remember, Tesla is a true U.S. company. True U.S. company. It's based right here in the U.S. And if you buy a Model Y, a Model S, a Model 3, a Model X, or if you decide to buy one of their Roadsters, it's made right here. Please don't take my word for it. Go out and have a look. And yet, for some reason or other, Congress decides to investigate Tesla for wrongdoings, and NHTSA decides to investigate Tesla for wrongdoings. Let me ask you a question. What are the other car companies out there that have got anything close to the self-driving systems that'll save countless lives? Countless lives. Who else is doing this? The Chinese. So if we continuously go after Tesla and slow them down with congressional investigations, with NHTSA crawling up their butts, what happens? What is going to happen? Who is going to pull the United States out of the fire? Is it going to be the other OEMs? Are we going to see General Motors or VW or Mercedes or any of the other car companies? Are we seeing what they've come up with? No, it's crap. It's crap. I've driven almost every self-driving car or even autopilot car, and it's crap. And they can't catch up. And so the government is deciding to make it an even playing field. Okay? Everybody's got to get a gold star on their forehead. Everybody has to get a medal for participation. It doesn't work that way. This really pisses me off. The Chinese are creating systems right now that are equivalent or better than anything GM, VW, BMW, Daimler, Toyota, Honda, Kia, Ford, and anybody else that's out there is going to be making. And we're crushing the only source of real American ingenuity? Are you kidding me? It's about time that we stop coddling the hometown boys who decided on their own that, oh yeah, we'll just sit around and make a lot more profit with our ICE vehicles because we all know that 2045 is the year that maybe there might be some uptick in EVs. Get a life and get out of the business. You're government people. What you should do is back off and stick to know what you know best. Like Afghanistan. Anyway, kiddies, I'm old and I'm allowed to be grouchy. So that's my little rant for today. I'm sick to death of coddling and kissing up to companies that made a big mistake. And quite frankly, I'm tired of watching everybody throwing rocks at Tesla. I am not a Tesla fanatic. Nobody buys me, nobody. I'm too old for that. I got to tell you right now, though, like I say, government should stick to the policy making and whatnot. Go out there and see what you can do about fixing Afghanistan. And after that, Iran, Iraq, and all the other ires out there that I think that you're gonna probably bugger up. Stay away from industry. Let's survive through the thing that really makes America great, innovation. Anyway, that's enough for today. I appreciate you listening. I'll try and calm down for my next meeting. Thanks, boys and girls. I appreciate it. We appreciate you watching Munro and Associates. And if you feel like I feel, you have a congressman, you have a senator, send them a note. It's not that hard. Their email addresses are available. Send them a note. Flood them. Tell them we're interested in having them stick to what they know best. Like I say, Afghanistan. Thanks very much. Bye.